Hello aspirants, so welcome back to the discussion of weekly class test, and today we shall be discussing two questions on Indian economy for the weekly class test 20. So let's start our discussion. Our first question is related to NPAs. The question is, explain the concept of NPAs, that is non-performing assets, and then the second part is we have to highlight the major factors behind the accumulation of NPAs in the Indian banking sector in recent years. Okay, so basically we have to do two things. First of all, we have to explain the concept of NPAs, that what are NPAs, and then we have to write the reasons, that what is the reason for the accumulation of NPAs in the banking sector. Okay, so first of all, coming to the structure, what will be the basic structure of answer? So that will be introduction, body and conclusion. Okay, so in introduction, simply you can define NPAs, no? Means if you have any recent news, very good, you can quote that news in the introduction. But if you don't have any news, you can simply define NPAs. So what you can say, that NPAs are nothing but the loans or advances. Loans or advances where the interest or principal amount is due for 90 days. So simply, if you don't have any news, you can simply start with the introduction. Now coming to body part. So in body part, we have to majorly highlight the factors, okay, responsible for accumulation. So see, we will discuss some of the factors. But before that, please understand that the directive of our question is to explain. So if there is a word explain, so see, directly we are being asked the reasons for the accumulation of NPAs. But if we are explaining or analyzing any topic, then you have to give the solutions also. Solutions, measures taken by the government. What do I mean by this? You have to add an extra dimension even if you are not asked about it. Okay, so first of all, we will be discussing the major factors. Okay, so no, you can mainly discuss 4 or 5 factors responsible for this, and I will be discussing the main points and you have to substantiate those points also. Okay, so first major factor, I think we can discuss historical reasons. What do I mean by historical reasons? Here you can discuss about the nationalization of banks. That since banks were nationalized, so many good things also happened because of nationalization, but because of nationalization, there was increase in the tendency of banks to lend for the political interest. Okay, and when the banks are lending for the political interest, so they are not judging the credibility to whom they are giving the loans. So this led to the accumulation of NPAs over the years. Okay, and if you have any data or report, you can quote also here. Second point, you can discuss about the misgovernance, especially of public sector banks. So what does happen in misgovernance? See, there are various credit rating agencies in India, right? So they rank a particular company or corporate sector based on their credit credibility. But many public sector banks do not focus on those credit ratings. So they don't analyze that what is the percentage, that what is the probability that particular person or company will pay us. Okay, so second reason we can discuss about misgovernance. Third, you can discuss about the financial boom in India, which happened before 2008 financial crisis. So see, because of financial boom, what banks thought, that banks had the tendency to just give the loans, that in future also financial condition will be good. But what happened about 2008 financial crisis, everything went down. Okay, so then it led to the accumulation of NPAs. Now here fourth point, you can discuss about the willful defaulters. So what do we mean by willful defaulters? Like for example, you have taken loan from bank and you have the capacity to pay back the loan, but even then you are not paying back. A very good example is of Vijay Mallya, and for that he was declared fugitive economic offender also. Means he had the ability but he didn't pay back the loan and fled the country. Okay, so you can discuss about the willful defaulters also. Fifth point, you can discuss about the obligations of public sector banks, like there is a provision of priority sector lending. Okay, that public sector banks have to give a certain percentage of loans to some of the sectors, and these sectors include agriculture, MSMEs and other sectors. So see, as you already know, these all sectors are already under stress. Okay, so no, we can't expect that no every person or company under this sector to pay back the loan on time. Okay, so I think majorly these 5 factors I discussed, you can add 2 or 3 factors more, but you have to substantiate your points. Okay, so I think we are done with the factors. And yes, as we discussed earlier, that we have to explain the answer. So you have to give some of the measures, some of the initiatives of the government. So here I am discussing some of the government initiatives to deal with the issue of NPAs. Okay. So see, as we discussed about Vijay Mallya, no, the fugitive economic offender. So what RBI did, no, RBI released a lookout circular for the willful defaulters, so that they cannot go to another country after defaulting in India. Okay, and as you all know that there is Fugitive Economic Offender Act also. Okay, so what are the provisions of this act? According to the provisions, the authorities can take away all the property of the economic offender. Okay, so here there is a legislative provision also. Third provision you can discuss about Mission Indradhanush, which was introduced for to deal with the issue of bad loans only, and a famous initiative which is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Okay, so you can discuss about the provisions of this also, and you can you can quote here Economic Survey 2016-17. So this survey suggested one thing. This survey suggested the creation of bad banks. For example, you create a bad bank, and that bank will be having all the bad loans, all the non-performing assets, and that bank will be given the all the flexibilities to deal with the issue of NPAs. So these are some of the steps which I discussed. You can discuss some of the recent ones also. And so see, we discussed our whole answer, no? So what we did in the answer, we gave a particular introduction. In body, first we discussed the reasons and we discussed government initiatives. Okay, now we have to give the conclusion. So in conclusion, see, as you know that conclusion must be positive, must be way forward. We have to give a way forward, no? So in conclusion, you can discuss that what is the success of government or RBI in this sector, in NPA sector. So recently, RBI has released a financial stability report, and in this report says that there is dip in NPAs. NPAs has reduced, and the reduction is 12-year low. Means in 12 years at present we have lowest NPAs in India. So obviously this is the success of schemes of government and initiatives of RBI. Okay, so now I think we have discussed all the parts of this answer. Now coming to our second question. So second question discusses. The question is, discuss the key priority areas that the government should focus on for India's financial future. Okay, so basically, to ensure a good financial future for India, we have to discuss the key priority areas. Okay, so see, actually, this question is related to current affairs only. Means, recently there was a global financial summit. There was Global Financial Festival 2024, and actually this question is related to this only. So if you already know this news, so you can quote this news in introduction only. Okay, so let's start the structure of our answer. That will be introduction, body and conclusion. And if you are aware of this news, no, so directly you can quote this news that recently in Global Financial Festival 2024, the governor of RBI has highlighted 5 key priority areas for the India's financial future. So see, governor of RBI has quoted 5 key priority areas. You can add other areas also, so that's not a problem. Okay, so in introduction you can quote this festival only. Now coming to body part. So the governor of RBI has quoted 5 key priority areas, and the first is financial inclusion, second is digital public infrastructure, third is cyber security, fourth is sustainable finance, and fifth is financial infrastructure. So in brief, we shall be discussing these key priority areas. So see, talking about financial inclusion. What does financial inclusion mean? That all the financial instruments, all the financial services must be accessible to all in rural, urban areas to the grassroots level. Okay, so in financial inclusion, recently, RBI is releasing financial inclusion index for India. So according to a report of RBI, the financial inclusion index is on a rise. That means the financial inclusion is increasing in India. So here you can quote RBI's financial inclusion index. And what you can say about its success, that the rank and the score of India is being increased in financial inclusion index. Also you can discuss about some of the initiatives of the government, like Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, about its success you can discuss. Okay, now a related pillar is digital public infrastructure. So see, if you want to ensure financial inclusion in India, so you will be needing technology to reach each and every sector of economy, each and every sector of society. Okay, so for this digital public infrastructure, here you can discuss the initiatives like UPI and ULI, Unified Payment Interface, and Unified Lending Interface. So this makes doing payment and receiving credit easy. Okay, so basically we are discussing the technologies involved in the financial sector. Now talking about cyber security. So see, if you want to ensure financial inclusion and you are introducing technologies, that means the financial ecosystem of India must be secure, and to ensure that security we need cyber security, right? So in cyber security, here you can quote, recently an act was enacted, that was Digital Data Protection Act 2023. You can quote this act here. So one of the important provision of this act is the data localization. So according to that provision, certain amount of data or certain type of data must be processed and stored in India only. Okay, so here other initiatives also you can quote about cyber security. Now talking about fourth pillar, that is sustainable finance. So see, actually we do not need the reckless economic growth. Just economic growth is growing and the environment is deteriorating. So we need a sustainable growth where the economy is also growing, and at the same hand we are also able to conserve environment. Okay, so for this we need sustainable finance. So here you can quote sovereign green bonds by RBI. And also you can discuss about green credit, about the concept of green credit. You can elaborate on both these concepts. Now the last is financial infrastructure. So see, basically in financial infrastructure, what can we include? We can include all the financial institutions, we can include all the technologies used like UPI, ULI, payment banks, all these things. Also you can include all the rules, regulations, etc., which are introduced by RBI from time to time. Okay, so these were the basically 5 pillars which are highlighted in that festival by Governor of RBI. You can add from your side 2, 3. Like in first answer we discussed about the issue of NPA. So sixth pillar you can write to deal with the issue of NPA. and what all things we can do to deal with this problem of NPA. So if you have 2-3 extra points, you can add. Okay. Now coming to conclusion. So see, in conclusion, if you don't have a particular conclusion, you can simply write that no, these all steps, basically these all steps will help India to achieve the goal of SDG 8 and 10. So 8 is decent work and economic growth, and SDG 10 is related to reducing inequalities. Okay, so basically coming to the main answer, we wrote introduction related to this financial festival, global financial festival. Here we discussed main 5 pillars, and you if have other pillars, you can discuss those pillars also. And in conclusion, we discussed about the SDGs 8 and 10. Okay, so now I think we discussed all the components of the answers. So yes, I think that's all from my side, and if you have any doubt related to these topics or these questions, you can mention them in the comment section, and we can discuss those doubts in the discussion of next weekly class test. So thank you for today.